Fed up with eating neat ketchup all day?
We really love ketchup, yeah. We taste it every day, and we still, even after all these years, we still like ketchup, yes.
I would say me and my family, we eat about a bottle of ketchup of half a kilo a week. It's what we call a heavy user.
And what about the contents of those blue bags, sitting tantalizingly close on the other side of this door?
No, can't come in here.
Only the 8 will ever know. Oh well. Behind the ordinary things that surround us in our daily lives are miraculous advances in engineering which we rarely get to see. Ingenious solutions to problems most of us never knew existed. Since this program began, 192 rivets have been drilled into an Airbus wing. Another life has been saved by fire crews in the USA. And more than 11,000 bottles of tomato ketchup have been sold in Europe alone. Even the most ordinary objects have an extraordinary story to tell. We only have to watch. Behind the ordinary objects that surround us in our everyday lives lies something extraordinary. Incredible stories of ingenious solutions to problems most of us never knew existed. So what mysteries are concealed in everyday things we take for granted? Wave-piercing hulls, motorcycle helmets, rubber. Behind the ordinary is the extraordinary, now revealed as we go behind the scenes, inside the machines to find out, how do they do it? These men are building one of the most extraordinary ships on the ocean today. A ship that combines payload with power. A ship that can slice through the waves instead of rolling over them. A ship like this. This is an ocean-going catamaran, the fastest, most impressive passenger ship on the seas today. Forget the plodding pace of the old ocean liners. This sleek ship can hit an astonishing top speed of over 90 kilometers per hour. But how do you create a ship this big that goes that fast? How do they do it? It all began in Australia in 1975 when the Tasman Bridge was knocked down by a ship. With the two sides of the city of Hobart divided, the ferries were swamped with passengers. One enterprising ship owner, though, had an idea: to build a catamaran ferry. Today, his son is carrying on where his father left off.
Over the years, the catamarans have grown in size since then. Nowadays, they're up to 112 metres long. In the early days, in the late 70s, they're only 20 metres long.
In these two sheds in Tasmania, they're finishing the fastest ferries on the face of the earth. These incredible vessels have proved that travel at sea needn't be painfully slow. And the key to speed is these two revolutionary wave-piercing hulls. To get a ship to travel fast, you need as little resistance as possible. And for that, you need as little of the ship in the water as possible.
What we have in these catamarans is two rowing shells, basically, long skinny hulls with no buoyancy, which allows the boat to go through the water very quickly.
The hulls are hollow inside, but strengthened by supporting struts, they can withstand the stresses of the oceans and cut effortlessly through the waves. The twin hulls are designed to be super light and super thin, but they can support a disproportionately large and heavy platform. It's 112 meters in length, weighs over 1,000 tons, and can accommodate 800 passengers and 200 cars, and still reach 90 kilometers per hour, thanks to some ingenious innovations by naval architects and engineers. The wave-piercing hulls are made from marine-grade aluminium. This guards against corrosion in saltwater, but more importantly, it makes the hull incredibly light, which is vital for maximizing speed. The aluminium arrives from Europe in great sheets. It's then cut and shaped. Almost everything to do with the hulls is made on site, from the panels which are welded together to the internal skeleton to which the hull is riveted. Despite the emphasis on speed, strength is also important. These massive wall panels weigh 30 tons each. The twin hulls are incredibly graceful and highly effective. But there's a problem. Traditional catamarans are racing craft, fast and dangerous. They have a tendency to nosedive as the front of the boat cuts deep into the water and flips the catamaran over. Bad for a racing cat, catastrophic for a larger ship. One solution would be to pack ballast into the twin hulls, but this would seriously slow the ship down. So in order to maintain speed but increase safety, the designers have come up with an extra central hull. Not another wave-piercing hull, but a hull which normally hovers above sea level.
It doesn't actually sit on the water, but as a wave picks it up, that centre bow goes into the water and it acts like a cork. The deeper it goes down, the more buoyancy it gets and tries to push the boat back up again. It's better for the ride for the passengers, and it's safer for everyone that goes to sea in it.
This design ensures the ship is stable and safe. But how do they crank up the speed? The ship is powered by 4 massive water jets. Water jets are to ship propellers what a jet fighter is to a Spitfire. The water jets take in and churn out water at an astonishing speed, driving the ship on. The equivalent of an Olympic-sized swimming pool passes through each engine every 30 seconds. And amazingly, all that power is controlled by one of the smallest steering wheels in the world.
Back in the days of old, you'd have 2 sailors hanging onto a great big wooden wheel, and it would be about there somewhere. And then Incat updated that to a small wheel in the middle, and the smaller boats have a very conventional, looks like a car steering wheel. It's about there. That's our steering wheel there. And so all the 4 water jets are controlled by that, so we can steer just doing that basically. Through that you've got 38,000 horsepower.
These ships are already on the high seas around Australia, the UK, the Mediterranean and North America. And the passenger catamaran is so fast, it now holds the blue-ribboned transatlantic speed record, making it the pride of Tasmania.
It's well proven, it's a bloody good ship. It really is, it's great. And we know it's going to go into service and do a good job for the client and do it for a long time as well.
So if you fancy buying a top-of-the-range wave-piercing catamaran, how much would it set you back? Well, you better start saving.
Well, you can buy this ship here for $50 million US, and for that amount of money, we'll paint it whatever colour you like.
Behind the ordinary is the extraordinary. Coming up, it's tough, it's sexy, and bizarrely, it's made out of cloth. The secrets of motorcycle crash helmets. Next, on How Do They Do It? They're fast. They're fun. They're dangerous. High-performance motorbikes are exhilarating to ride. They give you an incredible feeling of freedom, but that thrill comes at a price. When a rider comes off at high speed, for whatever reason, he needs all the protection he can get. In motorcycle crashes, head injury is the principal cause of death, which is why the helmet is the biker's most important piece of equipment. So how do they make a helmet that can save a motorcyclist's life? Braunschweig, Germany. Welcome to Schubert, one of the world's largest producers of protective helmets. They've been making crash helmets here for over 50 years and now produce more than 1.5 million of them every year. And here in Braunschweig, every design is exhaustively tested to ensure that it meets the highest safety standards. It's reckoned that wearing a helmet improves a motorcyclist's chances of surviving an accident by almost a third. But Schubert needs to know their helmets are up to the job. So for every batch of 3,000 helmets they produce, they try to smash a dozen of them to smithereens in their labs. If they're not up to scratch, the other 3,000 are destroyed. The most demanding trial measures shock absorption. It reproduces the force of a driver hitting a wall at 30 kilometers an hour. That's 5 times faster than the speed at which the human skull will crack. You wouldn't want your head to be inside the helmet when this happens.
3, 2, 1.
Ouch. So, would you have survived? Well, you'd certainly stand a chance. The dent shows that the helmet absorbed the impact, but still retained its shape.
Those cracks actually just mean that the helmet is doing its job.
Modern motorcycle helmets are complex